Hey, Mark here. I just have a fun announcement for you. So, we recently started doing these Final Fight episodes, and we've been putting them up with the movies, the regular movie, films, and flicks episodes. However, the Final Fight episodes people really loved. So, we figured that we would start a brand new podcast just called Final Fights, brought to you by Movies, Films, and Flicks, where it's nothing but final fights in movies, where we discuss every punch, bite, head kick, gut punch, everything you can think about. We do a lot of research, and they're short episodes. They're probably about 20 to 30 minutes. They're really quick to listen to, and they just talk about all your favorite final fights. So head to iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, and rate, review, and subscribe, and listen to Final Fights. I think you'll really enjoy it. Thank you. Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is John Levingood.
How's it going, Mark?
Good. So, we're both right now. We're both in our kart cars right now, and we are cruising around the St. Pete track. Correct?
Right.
We're in the IndyCar racing mode. We're recreating the 2000 Champ Car season, the 2000 FedEx Championship Series. It was the 22nd in the kart era of U.S. open wheel racing, and it consisted of 20 races. How do you feel about that, John?
I feel like we don't fit in these vehicles very well, Mark. Both of us for our height and me for other dimensional challenges.
Yeah, I mean, birds hit me in the face occasionally, and when you and I are driving around Chicago or Toronto, and you hit a sewer cover off, a manhole cover off, and it hits me in the face.
You would die.
My head would be gone. My head. So you and I would be enjoying a nice chase. Actually, you're all moody, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go chase down John again. And I'm chasing you down. You're driving around the streets, causing havoc, and then you decapitate me.
So I don't know if you've seen Stuber, but there's a scene in Stuber where he throws like this little camping propane tank that's the size of a kid-sized basketball out the window, and it hits this guy in the face, and it just impales his whole skull. It's something out of one of the Cube movies, and it makes me think of that, but with a manhole while we're driving Formula One like cars down Chicago streets.
Yep. So people don't get mad at us. This is Indy cars. And then
right, it's not actually Formula One.
And we covered that not week, but in our last episode that you and I did together, we covered Rush, which, let me tell you something.
Race pod.
I'm glad. Okay, two things could have happened. We cover this Driven first, and then we watch Rush. And then does it make us appreciate watching Rush before or after more?
Rush is such a solid standalone, Oscar baity kind of film. I think that Rush will survive either way, but I think that Rush ushered us instead into race car movies and eased us into Driven, which strikes me as a movie that was better at the time of its release, whereas Rush is a movie that is more timeless.
Absolutely, and I just think I have some. Can I drop some stuff on you before we get going on this? Because
not a manhole.
I'm going to drop you down a manhole. I'm going to trap you in there because you're going to bust an ankle for sure. And then I'm just going to wax poetic about this movie for you and drop some facts on you. How's that sound?
All right.
All right. So John,
I'm buckled in.
Let's drop you in there. Snap. All right. Now you're in the bottom of a sewer here. So this movie, right? It was produced by Franchise Pictures. And when X vs. Sever came out in 2017, I was tasked to write an article about it for a website. And in my research for Ballistic X vs. Sever, I found out about a production company called Franchise Pictures, independent motion picture production company and distribution company that worked with Warner Brothers. And it was founded by Elie Samaha and this guy Andrew Stevens, but it was mostly Elie. So in 2000, they had Boondock Saints. It didn't do well. However, it picked up on VHS. A little later on, Elie teamed up with Bruce Willis. And Bruce Willis' brother wrote The Whole Nine Yards. And so they got that made. And The Whole Nine Yards went around to make $100 million in the States. This led Elie to make Battlefield Earth with John Travolta, right? Then $44 million budget, it made $29 million. Then he went and made The Art of War, $60 million budget, made $40 million. Then he went and made Get Carter, $63 million budget, and it made $19 million. Then he made The Pledge, $35 million, made $29. He made 3,000 Miles to Graceland, $62 million, and it pulled in $19. Oof. Then he made Driven, which had a $92 million budget, and it made $54 million. Then he made Angel Eyes, $53 million budget, and it made $29 million. Then he went on to make more. X vs. Sever, $70 million, and it made $19 million. And then eventually he made The In-Laws, which lost money, Alex and Emma, which lost money, Spartan, which lost money, The Whole 10 Yards, which lost money. Then he went and finally he made A Sound of Thunder, $80 million, and it made $11 million in 2005. And his last film was Tristan and Isolde, which was, like under him. And then that went terribly wrong as well. But what this guy did, what Ellie did was, Sly wanted to make Driven for 4 years. Everybody said no, right? Everyone just said, we are not making this movie. What Ellie would do was, The Whole 9 Yards was written by Bruce Willis's brother. So he got him on board. I'll make that movie if you come, Bruce Willis. Battlefield Earth. Travolta wanted to get Battlefield Earth made. Everyone said no. And Ellie's like, I'll make it. Art of War, Wesley Snipes' passion project. Get Carter, Stallone passion project. 3,000 Miles to Graceland, Costner passion project. Driven was a Stallone passion project. Avenging Angelo, that's another Stallone passion project. So he went out and he found A-list stars who had movies that no major studios would make, and he got those made, and they all lost money. Do you want to know the one movie that he made a decent amount of money on?
Let's hear it.
Half Past Dead.
I didn't even see that.
13 million budget, made 19. So this guy in the 2000s is responsible for films that almost all of them are exclusively rotten, and only 1 or 2 of them actually made their budgets back. He suffered massive losses on a lot of his movies.
Are you building to explaining to our listeners how it is that he made so many subsequent money-losing movies and how this company still existed?
So what he did was, look at this thing. When he hit big with The Whole 9 Yards, that was 2000. Mm-hmm. So then he got into production. A lot of movies between 2000 and 2001. All those movies tanked by 2002. So before Hollywood was kind of keyed into him making these movies, they were already out and made. He was a hot property with Whole 9 Yards, and he used that to get a ton of movies made. So when all the receipts started coming in, all these movies were in production already being filmed.
So I have another question. Yeah. Do you think that after losing money in theaters relative to the budget, do you think that the 5-year post-theater run of video sales or DVD sales or whatever, do you think that they still lost money, or do you think a lot of these probably broke even?
Well, all right, which one of these could have done well? Ballistic X vs. Sever, Avenging Angelo,
I mean, when I just think
Miles
of like
to Graceland, Get Carter, Art of War, but none of these were like, this is a great time for rentals. So I think The Whole 9 Yards helped a lot. But Battlefield Earth, I don't see that making much money on DVD. I mean, that lost a lot of money. And you got to understand, on these movies, they also have P&R. So they have marketing, they have print, they have radio, they have television ads. They spend a lot of money marketing these films. So if they did break even, I would suggest they probably broke even on 1 or 2 of them, maybe. But by the time that you could even track that, they were out of business. And he's still making money. Like, this guy's out there still making money if you read about him. There's a New York Times article you can read, and he was fresh off he was hot after Whole 9 Yards. He was at a Lakers game, schmoozing with everybody, and this guy was like, yeah, Whole 9 Yards is good, but I don't think this Battlefield Earth is going to make it. He's like, his career's going to rest on that. He's like, he might be a flash in the pan. And I'm not saying anything bad. I'm not insinuating anything. I'm not accusing anything. I'm just letting you know this is how he got those movies made, and these were the results he had.
So that's funny because, like, all these movies that you listed that lost money, right? So I'm not counting The Whole 9 Yards right now. I'm not saying that they're good movies, but they're almost all movies I'll enjoy watching every 5 years. But I'll enjoy watching them from time to time. Yeah. Like, Battlefield Earth is a joy to giggle at, and I will choose to watch it sometimes.
Those baby Kurbangos.
A few times in my life, like X vs. Sever. Again, years ago after Darth Maul, like, I wanted to see anything Ray was in. So, and Lucy Liu, why not, right? So it's like, I own that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I own Driven. I owned Driven since it came out on DVD, actually.
And I gotta tell you, this Driven DVD, if you are a fan of, Renny Harlin, I love, because on Deep Blue Sea, on Cliffhanger, which we've done episodes for, on almost all of his Blu-rays, not Long Kiss Goodnight, which sucks, but he does a lot of commentaries and documentaries. And do you want to hear what? So we watch a lot of movies, John, and I do a lot of research, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This movie, when it was a 220-page script by Stallone.
Wow.
He wanted to make it about F1, but F1 wouldn't allow him into their world, so he got into IndyCar. And you can see they are at every single race on the IndyCar circuit. They went the year beforehand and shot all the B-roll and footage. I mean, the production value on this is epic. This was a 4-hour movie, and it was more of a Rocky 5-esque, where Rocky trains a young guy. He's just there to kind of come back, have some glory. Much more nuanced, much more layered. They shot the 4-hour take. Renny Harlin cut almost all of Stallone's scenes with his love interest. Was it Luke?
Yeah,
Luke.
That was her nickname, yeah.
A lot of Gina Gershon's roles. And he cut a lot of that because he's like, people don't want to come see this. They want to see youth and vibrancy. That's why he cut it like a music. He even digitally took out Stallone in the scene where they're rescuing Memo, because he didn't want Stallone in there looking like a superhero.
No!
And they had a close relationship after Cliffhanger, Renny and Stallone. On this DVD, there are 50 minutes of deleted scenes. And Stallone does a commentary over all of them. Never once does he ever mention Renny Harlin. He just talks about how every scene added more layer and depth to the character. And they were all cut out. And at the end, he said, thank you to the actors. He didn't say anything about Renny Harlin.
Aww.
I have never heard... And so Megan was listening to it in the background. She was working. And she was like, Stallone is very articulate about what he's saying. He does 50 minutes of commentary over the deleted scenes, and he wishes they would have been in the movie. Because the finished product is a 4-hour movie that was hacked down to 2 hours.
Wait, is there somewhere the Stallone cut? Can I get the Stallone cut somewhere?
So he showed it to us in raw footage, and since the movie didn't do well in theaters...
Oh, it never made it to post?
It was nominated for 7 Razzies. Let's say this movie took off on DVD, and someone just said, hey, this movie's really fun, and you can just put it on, and you can enjoy it, and it does really well, and it becomes a cult classic. Then we get the Stallone cut, the Snyder cut. But this is not looking like it will happen.
20 years later, I want the Stallone cut.
But if you watch the DVD, and you listen to him talk over the 50 minutes, that car he's building, the movie starts with him building that car, and it ends with him and Luke driving that car away. It's his movie.
I like that.
And I think the 4-hour cut really, I think it hurt the 2-hour cut, because Jimmy Bly in this movie, played by Kip Pardue, he just looks at computers the entire time. And I don't think he ever says more than 2 lines of dialogue.
Unless he's complaining, unless he's being angsty.
He's supposed to be a side character, supporting character, and Stallone was the main character, and they cut all of Stallone's scenes out, so you get this really weird hybrid of a film.
That's interesting. It almost makes a little sense too now,
right?
Well, I guess the way that Rennie's vision of this goes with whoever he was working with for the soundtrack and the scoring, mostly soundtrack though I'm thinking of, is that this soundtrack was so of 2001.
Hey,
it was
nah.
Right. So it's funny. So I watched this twice this week, and the first time it was probably 5, 6, 7 years since I had seen it at least. Right. So the first time I saw it, I felt man, I like this. I'm enjoying this, but this is not nearly as awesome as I used to think it was. And then when I watched it the second time this week, I was realizing why. And then every time a song came on, I was because I'm not paying quite as close of attention to the movie, and I'm thinking about other things about the movie instead of what's happening in the movie. And I was reflecting on man, I would have loved this song when I was,
yeah.
This came out when I was 20. Jimmy Bly is in his 20s. This thing is scored for 20-something high school and college age people, And so like it's interesting how my memories of this are so fun, and it's still a fun movie.
Yeah,
it's still fun, but the music occasionally takes me out of these scenes.
And I gotta tell you, the one thing I appreciate most about this movie is they went to the races. So there's scenes in this movie where Stallone is pushing Burt Reynolds in Burt Reynolds' wheelchair, and those people walking by are just staring at them. That's because they're at actual races. And so they're walking around, and
they're Burt Reynolds and Sly.
Yeah, and there are people staring at them. And you'll see a scene where the AD, the assistant director, grabs two women by, like, puts his arms around them and walks them out of the frame because they are walking perfectly along with them, staring at them. And you will see, they had like 14 minutes before a race, and they had to knock out all the dialogue scenes. So it was unprecedented in the access they were able to get with them. Also, like what Renny said, and Rush had such a low budget, such a, $35 million budget, that you couldn't see a lot of the behind the scenes of how the cars work. In this one, he made sure to show you that each car has 16 tires per race. You see the tires. You see the trailers. Remember when Til Schweiger breaks up with Sophia? Bo breaks up with Sophia, they're in their personal trailer. Like, they showed every aspect of this racing, and they made it seem huge. And it's not a fault of Rush because it had a micro budget. I mean, 35 million's tiny compared to this, but I liked how they made this sport seem epic and driven. I dug that.
Well, that comes back to our discussions of Rush, because I remember my feeling of Rush is that even though I found the movie emotionally exhilarating, it wasn't ever emotionally exhilarating for the racing scenes for me. It was because of what I knew the character cultivated urgency in their interpersonal dynamic. What was happening on screen? There was very little real racing on screen, whereas this movie, it's like Ron Howard wanted to take us on the journey of these two racers, Lauda and Hunt. I think Renny Harlin was just whatever characters happen to be in the script is fine, but he wanted to take you on the journey through Formula One or Indy cars, and he wanted to give you a taste of what that was. And I think he succeeded, right?
Oh, yeah.
But just totally different. It's almost like the macro and the micro approach, right? It's like Renny was taking the macro approach and Ron Howard was taking the micro approach. Yeah. Even though Ron Howard made the bigger movie about the bigger characters, he took the micro. Let's just look really closely at these characters' lives in this year and a half.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's funny. Wow. But I guess do you think Renny succeeded with this film, Renny Harlin?
Okay, in 2001, I don't care how much money it did or didn't make, all right? I think that Indian Formula One car kind of stuff in the United States is a tough thing to make a boatload of money on, especially in 2001.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what this was. Not that I was ever into any kind of car racing, but when this movie came out, before the internet's all over the place, before you just, know everything from your Facebook feed, what your friends are into because it's in their Facebook feed, I didn't know that Formula One existed, really. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know the difference. So to me, this was just that's right. I've seen this on TV once. It's not NASCAR, right? So I think that might have been the thing working against him most, because this had such a cool cast, a beautiful movie. It's as colorful as a Michael Bay movie, just without all the explosions, just all the reds and blues and sunlight everywhere, right?
And the crowds.
And a super fun soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
Right? At the time. And it's still energetic, but it just doesn't hit the same.
They're dropping some Fatboy Slim in 2001.
Say hallelujah.
Yeah. And then what right here, right now. I was listening to this just kind of. I got brought back to those years where I had my CD player in my V4 cylinder Dodge Shadow convertible blaring out, and when I hit the gas too hard, my CD player flew out because I traded a tennis racket because I had gotten new tennis rackets. I traded a Gamma tennis racket for a CD player, and I took my radio out, installed the CD player, but it's too small, so I wedged it into my car, and whenever I hit the gas, it would fly out. But I had those CDs in when I did that. But this movie, man, I watched it. And
what do you think? What do you feel about Renny's success since you brought it up?
All right, so in 2001, I watched this movie and I really dug it. I don't know how I could explain why I dug it, but I think just the music. I thought Til Schweiger was really cool. I don't know what it was in my head, but I just kind of thought there's really no villain in this movie. There's a slimy brother, but there's no, like in Rush, there's no villain. And I just kind of thought, like, I still remember this day. I was talking to my brother Eric, and he was like, yeah, there's a really cool German dude in here, and he has this relationship where he has a lot of stress on him, so he breaks up with his long-term fiance. He realizes he made a mistake, but she's kind of hanging out with this other guy, but then they're kind of like, yeah, we need to get back together. And at the end, they're all kind of cool. I was like, what? What was that? I don't even know. When do movies do that? And that actually this is based on a true story about Gina Gershon in F1. But I remember him telling me about it, and I just kind of thought, oh, that's really neat. That'd be kind of cool to watch, and I dug it. I liked just the big crowds. I mean, it was Fast and Furious before Fast and the Furious. Like, we were watching this in 2001. We're 18. There's a lot of gratuitous, Hawaiian Tropic Lady shots in this. There's a lot of, like, I don't know. So I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't look at it anything beyond the surface. But one thing, though, I think you're right. It's about racing. The plot is very MTV, and Stallone was coming off of, listen to this run, The Specialist, Judge Dredd, Assassins, Daylight, Copland, which was good but not a massive success, Get Carter, and then Driven. So his career was kind of wasn't too good at the time. He hadn't had a hit in a while. And then also they cast Kip Pardue 3 days before this movie. No one really knew about him at the time. Till Schweiger was a massive German celebrity. And that one scene where he gets to speak German with that was a German pop star that was randomly on set. He was really comfortable in that scene. When she's like, I can kiss you, he's like, no, you lose. He was very comfortable. So there was no one bringing this movie into it. There were no explosions. There was no quarter-mile races. Fast and the Furious took up the cool quotient. This movie just didn't have a lot going for it when it hit the theaters. So, I mean, the fact that it made $40 million is pretty good. Would you say?
I just think the cast drew me in. I mean, of course, in high school, I saw Showgirls. So, like, Gina Gershon was a draw. Like, and she's attractive to the younger and the older generation at the time.
Did you see the dog chow on one of the cars? That was like an in-joke towards Showgirls where she said she ate dog chow.
Oh, no, I didn't get that. Yeah. But, like, Estella Warren.
She's in a different movie altogether, Gershon. Everyone else is kind of friendly, but she's up to 11 in this movie.
Yeah, she is. And I liked it, though. I enjoyed disliking her character.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And she did a great job with it, all the catty stuff, even with Luke in the bathroom and how she dug into her ex-husband. But a
lot of scenes were cut with her, and Stallone was very articulate about their relationship.
I gotta see all this.
Because, and then, remember, he was like hooked on drugs and partying. And he was a mess when he met her, and they were both messes, and they were just toxic for each other. So the bitterness, you don't see it in the theatrical cut, but if it would have been longer, Stallone would have shared more of, listen, I was a maniac. We were together, we weren't good for each other, I was in a terrible place, I kind of burned those bridges. So it gives her more humanity than it does in the theatrical cut.
Yeah, I remember wondering where all this vitriol was coming from.
Yeah.
Other than what I would call standard, almost like the toxic masculine view of the ex-wife kind of thing.
Yeah.
When Memo, her new husband, and Sly's Joe Tanto's old kind of racing partner is now her husband, and he's all nice about it. So it's like it was a weird dynamic, but I just love the way that she rolled into that character, though. She plays the mean roles so well.
Oh, she got it. She had fun with it. She knew what she was hired for, and she did it well. Absolutely. And I felt bad for Estella Warren in this movie. She hadn't done many films. You want to hear something interesting? So that scene where the breakup scene between her and Bo, she couldn't bring it, and so they spent most of the day just waiting for her to get tears because she was a brand new actress. And so Renny Harlin said, I have never done this before, and I don't want to do this again. But I just chastised her on the set in front of everybody, and I made her cry.
Wow.
And then they did the scenes, and she nailed it. And later on, she came up to him and said, thank you for doing that. I was really embarrassed that I couldn't hit it. And I know at first I hated you, but then I started crying, and I kind of guess I knew what you were doing. But Harlan's like, yeah, I'd never want to ever do that again on set. But the poor guy went into her and made her cry to get that performance.
Was her only big movie before this Planet of the Apes, or was that after this?
Well, let me see.
Mark Wahlberg, Planet of the Apes.
Well, they were both 2001, so that came out in the summer.
Same time.
Yeah, so Planet of the Apes.
Same time frame, though. Okay.
Yeah, so that came out in the summer. Let's see. Driven came out 2001. What was the date for Driven when it came out? I just know it came out in 2001.
Are they both 2001 movies?
Yeah. Because I went on a road trip around Florida after graduating college, and my buddy and I ran out of money, and somehow we had free tickets, so we went and watched Driven in a theater in 2001. So that came out in August, and so yeah, Planet of the Apes came out before that. So that was probably in June, July.
Okay, but they were really tightly released, yeah.
And I would say Driven probably was made first because Planet of the Apes had a ton of special effects. Maybe?
I believe it.
But yeah, I mean, she wasn't bad. They were nominated for 7 Razzies, dude. These came out a week apart from each other. So yeah, I mean, yeah, she got 7 Razzies this movie was nominated for. I don't see it being 7 Razzie bad, do you?
No, I don't. I liked it, especially at the time. I'm surprised. I don't think that anything was bad about it. Let me make that really clear. It hasn't aged very gracefully, again, largely by virtue of the soundtrack. But I don't think anything is bad about this. It might be missing a lot of good things I would expect a movie like this to have, but I don't think it specifically has bad qualities.
A lot of articles that I read, like Joe Blow did a fun breakdown of this, and a lot of movies they're like, yeah, it's terrible, but we like watching it. So I'm like, wait, what does that mean? So it seems like the cool thing to say that you hate it. However, everyone talks about they like watching it, which is weird.
I don't know. I think that a lot of Razzies for this seems unfair.
Yeah, and also he had a ton of heat. He had a ton of bad buzz at the time, so I think he wasn't helped by this, and people are just dogpiling with this movie. But you know what I liked most about it is you have Joe Tanto, old school guy, nothing but talent, but he threw it all away. Then you have Jimmy Bly, this young kid that was basically racing since he was a child, no social life, no, overbearing brother. They just want him in the limelight. He just wants to look at computers all day and study the track and be left alone. And then you have Til Schweiger, who is kind of the Daniel Bruhl of the bunch. He's the one that runs all day. He sprints. He is blunt. One's Austrian, one's German, but he's very athletic. He takes the sport very seriously. He wants to dominate. So it's 3 totally different drivers interacting. Even Memo is number 4. There's 4 totally different kinds of drivers interacting, and I like that. I like that aspect. Young meets old.
So bear with me here. Now, I can totally see a writer coming up with this dynamic organically on their own with no exposure, knowing anything about racing history. But because I happen to have seen Rush and Ford v Ferrari, do you think that historically there was influence for Joe Tanto and Jimmy Bly for Ford v Ferrari, where Joe Tanto is almost like the Shelby character?
Are you saying that Ford vs. Ferrari drew inspiration from Driven?
No. Driven drew inspiration from those historical people.
My bad, dude. I had a brain fart there.
But so like Shelby mentoring his new driver, right, on the circuit, like that could have been them. Whereas Bo Brandenburg and Jimmy Bly are almost like the Niki Lauda and James Hunt. Because Jimmy Bly is living wild. He's hitting the clubs. He's kind of reckless. He's more. I like her driven,
right? He's super bookish and computery, right?
I mean, he's just studying though. It's almost just like practicing your turns.
Yeah,
I found myself like drawing, and maybe it's just because I've seen these movies both recently, and these are my only connection to the racing universe. Mm-hmm. And so I'm drawing parallels when it's easy to find a needle in a haystack when I don't have a lot of hay of experience in these movies. But I found that both of those things had a lot of parallels, but maybe that's more incidental.
I mean, if you see it, you see it. I guess I would go with more incidental because I just didn't read get Pardue as a James Hunt type guy. He seems very he just almost doesn't want to like I feel like James Hunt embraced the cameras and lights, but this Bly wanted nothing to do with it. And when he went to the bar, it's just because he didn't want to study anymore and he was stressed out. He just wanted a beer.
Right.
So he wasn't even very good at womanizing.
Well, I thought he was a combination of the two characters.
Combination. Oh, okay, I get it. Got it. And then Till Schweiger's just straight up Lauda.
Is just like the Lauda, and then Joe Tonto is just like the Shelby.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, Stallone wanted to make an F1 movie. This was originally about Ayrton Senna, who there's a 2010 documentary based. It's all stock footage. It was up for an Oscar, one of the best documentaries, which actually got me into racing at a very minor level. So he drew inspiration for F1. That's what Stallone wanted to do. So, I mean, the DNA of these characters has to belong somewhere in that of F1. You know what I mean, Vern?
You know what I mean, Vern?
No, yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, he does seem like a combination of the two.
But it's not like it's really strong. You know, it's just that there are so many subtle parallels. The fact that he's German and German Austrian from an American perspective does get very kind of melded together. I'll bet a lot of people watching this movie just thought he was German.
Yeah. Oh, in Rush or
in this, watching this.
Yeah.
A lot of Americans watching this probably just thought he's German.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to our Austrian Lauda. But then just he's very focused. Lauda's very focused. He's running the track, that kind of thing. Just a lot of itty bitty little things. But these are also things that I would just see in a dedicated athlete, right? So at the same time, so that it's like I can see myself reaching, and I can see myself like putting the trace over the stencil and saying it matches up almost equally, like. I don't know.
You're like Mr. Fantastic with your reach right now, right?
Right. Maybe I'm reaching far. Maybe listeners are just shaking their head with their headphones on. It's like, John, where are you going with this, buddy?
Mark, stop.
King Kong fights a T-Rex. The King Kong movie is nothing like Jurassic Park, John.
Well, I see parallels in that because they go to an island, right? Monster Island.
Clearly influenced.
And Jurassic Park was at an island.
A tropical one.
A tropical island. And people
multiple velociraptors fight T-Rex. Multiple T-Rexes fight Kong. Kong is the T-Rex against the T-Rexes.
Wow. So
Boom.
So the T-Rex is Kong. And Kong is the T-Rex.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, let that simmer. Oh, I just incepted all of our listeners.
What's the Jell-O from Jurassic Park? Remember on her spoon that's jiggling? What's the Jell-O in the Kong world?
The leeches. The swamp leeches that eat Andy Serkis's head.
Oh, wait. Those things were terrible.
Oh, they were horrifying, weren't they?
I was watching that scene, and the way it's scored, and I feel like it's in slow-mo watching these men get murdered by bugs.
And the giant Mormon crickets and those horrible leeches.
Jeez Louise. All right, John, I need to collect myself. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk more Driven. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And I gotta tell you, John, there's a scene where Stallone drives around the track, and he picks up 3/4 in his tires.
Oh, I love the scene!
When he parks, like lame turd boy Jimmy Bly, turd boy, what's that mean? He looks at him, he goes, only 2 tires? But he doesn't go around he doesn't turn the tire.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, but
it's like he was almost having a dumb moment. Like he should think better than that, than to think they'd all be in the same spot.
And then some guy turns the tire like, a little bit, and you see the third, and you're just thinking, did Bly not consider that?
That was like, but Bly had so many what I'll call young and dumb moments in this movie that even though he should know better about that, because that is specifically like raceology, if you will, right? But like knowing how the car works. But he has so many young and dumb moments in this that just stacked into him. And it made for a good cheeky scene, though. I think that scene, it still works better that way, even though it seems like stupidly written for Jimmy. Just because it gives you that cheeky moment where everyone else knew that he would get it and Jimmy just didn't think he'd get it. And by the way, that was also one of the few scenes that I thought was scored well. that holds up well. The kind of music that they used for this scene. Yeah. Every time that music starts and he's doing his thing and he stops and he flicks out the quarter, I love that scene. It's got a great energy as you were introduced to like the homestead, washed out, no longer racing Joe Tonto before he got the call. And then this is how you're introduced to Joe Tonto, the road tactician. And I love that. I love it. But yeah, the Jimmy thing was dumb.
It's a good way to build up him as a driver, though, with those quarters. And those are all one scene where he picked up the quarter was all digital. And I love hearing commentaries about digital effects from 1990. I listened to The Mummy. That's coming up. And there's a commentary where they said one of the shots took 2 years to film, the digital shots. Remember in Event Horizon? In the intro shot of the Event Horizon?
The slowly spiraling, closing in on the space station.
That took a year, and the guy quit the industry after finishing it. God, so, I mean, I love hearing about effects from 99 to 01 around that time.
But he retired as a champion, though.
I quit.
You know, the other thing I love about this scene, though, is that when the – what is he? He's like he's kind of like the crew manager.
Crusher.
He's explaining to Jimmy what he's going to do. It's like, yeah, he's going to drop a quarter at each of these points. Then he's going to do a controlled slide and pick him up. But not with the front tire. Any schmo can do that. He's going to do a controlled slide and pick it up with the rear tire. And Jimmy says, oh, that's impossible. He says, you don't want to bet me, son. Like, it was like the way he said it, it was so casual. No, you don't want to bet me. And I love everything about this whole scene. It all works so well for me, except for, again, that bit of young dumb that Jimmy has.
It just I like how it establishes the build. So, John, you and I have never watched IndyCar racing, but if we watch this, we would know just enough to annoy people who know about it. Is that like so? Does that mean like we're watching it like, oh, there's teams, and each team has 2 drivers, and if there's a fast driver, the other driver blocks. And sometimes you can do crazy pit moves, and it's not illegal to do that, what Sly did to Til Schweiger. You can do that. And then you have the wet tires. And then you have qualifying. Who qualifies first? Who qualifies second?
Their placement.
That's where they start. Oh, it's in 20 different racetracks around the world. And these are the fans who come to these races. So you're watching it, and I think that's where Renny Harlin really succeeds. Is you remember when they get to Japan 4 days before the race, and you just see them lounging around, studying on their computers. Til Schweiger's running. They're kind of relaxing, looking at their courses. Then you have the day with the buildup of you have the who gets the fastest lap, who can start first, and then you have the race. It's a very I'd say it gives you enough to be like, well, isn't it IndyCar that? And you could annoy somebody. But I like that. I learned about this stuff. Mm-hmm. And I got to tell you, man, what'd you think about the very mellow love triangle in this movie?
So, yeah, that was there. I think that, but maybe it's because of the way this was cut, like you said earlier, how so much stuff was cut out. But I view this movie as like 13 mildly tenuous interpersonal relationships. Yeah. Among them is the love triangle, right?
Yeah.
But none of them. Actually, the only real stressful one that we have is Joe and his ex-wife.
Yeah. Yep.
But no, yeah. So the love triangle, right? When it hits its crescendo, its highest intensity, where Til Schweiger, where Bo Brandenburg is trying to get Sophia back, and Jimmy is all upset, even though Jimmy only got her to hang out with him by agreeing that we're just going to be friends.
Hang out? Yeah.
It was such a college age thing to do. Like, yeah, we're totally just friends. Oh God, I can't stand seeing it. She's going to leave with him. You know, it was, but even still, like, it didn't almost any other filmmaker before or after the year 2001. That would have resulted in like a real big shoving match, someone getting into a fight, her getting upset with both of them. You know, the drama would have conflated.
Mm-hmm.
And this it didn't. Like you said, a very mellow love triangle.
And I like that after the big, they push each other once. Later on, Bly walks up to Bo. It's like, hey man, my bad.
Right.
Hey, I was out of line. Like, you guys have a lot of history. We weren't anything. My bad. Like, that's the end of it. And then they all stay friends. It's sort of refreshing, I would say, and just, If this is Fast and the Furious, fisticuffs would be thrown.
Well, I mean, this is them forming their Fast and Furious crew, right?
Yeah.
It's just that they never got that sequel. Because, I mean, just to show how tight they all stayed, is that in the end, when the brother manager pulls like a double cross on Jimmy, and he's trying to help, oh God, what is Burt Reynolds' character's name?
I got it up here. Let me. It is Carl Henry.
When he's trying to get help Carl book Bo for next year, right? Anything to win. Then Bo evidently tells Sophia. Sophia warns them, and then they screw the manager together. So like they're all really like high-fiving it at the end, right? Like they really are like building their crew. It's almost like Fast 5 where, wait, are we? Oh no, we're all cool at the end. Oh, here we are in Fast 6 and now we're all part of the crew. Like that's what Driven 2 would have been. It would have been all them fighting crime together.
And I love what Ebert had to say. He's like, there's no villains, there's a shoving match over the girl, but no real fights, and afterward a character actually apologizes. I mentioned that all the characters are nice, except for Gershon, who sticks to being angry and a stubborn show of integrity, which I loved he said that. The feel-good ending is a masterpiece, even in a season where no audience can be allowed to exit without reassurance. There's an endless happy closing montage at a victory celebration with hugs and champagne and all. And I like that. Oh, and all the characters smile at all the other characters, and outstanding disagreements are resolved with significant little odds. But I dug that, right? That was nice.
I think that the antagonist in this movie is Jimmy Bly's struggle with his coming into adulthood and a high-stress athlete stature.
And with people pushing you, the brother who, I guess he had a failed career, but he pushed him so hard because, why did he push him so hard? That's what he thought was best?
It seemed like, well, I get the idea that he just, when he saw how much better his younger brother was than him at this, that he just always had his back and that just became his life.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's kind of a crutch for not being good at anything else.
And then even, like, he gets punched in the nose, and Bly's going to make up with his brother. You think?
Probably. Because he came out the winner, I think he will.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And it's such a nice ending.
I like it. Maybe like in my head, like from my youth, this movie was like a 9 or a 10 for fun factor. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, whatever. It's still a fun movie though. Now it's like a 7 or a 6 on the fun factor, but I still enjoy watching it. It still like makes me smile while I'm sitting there on my living room couch watching it for the second time in a week. I'm still smiling at the same scenes, nodding my head. Like, I don't know, like in the Joe Tonto scene when he's, again, the 3/4, nothing but smiles on my face. Yeah. Like the whole time, like I feel it on my face. So again, I think the movie succeeds at that, even if it didn't succeed at the box office. And yeah, like sometimes the victory feels bigger when you overcame a bad guy. But I think that this movie had me feeling good through a lot of it. Because when you're facing the bad guy, sometimes you have to come out of a chasm to reach that acme.
Yeah. I have a question. I had a good question for you.
This is a feel-good movie.
It is I was finishing the ending of this, and it made me very happy just watching those guys up there shooting each other with champagne. Everyone was happy.
Yeah.
Relationships were mended. Memo's okay. I gotta tell you, though, that scene where Memo's car rolls for about 45 seconds and then explodes through a tree. I mean, we're talking a cataclysmic explosion through a tree, and then he lands in the water. I laughed because that's one of the most unnecessarily large explosions I've ever seen.
It was cool. That was like the one major action part of it. I like the slow-mo of the car in the air before the car starts to lower and then another car hits it and then it's like it just like launches it like it got trebucheted.
Pinball.
Like it goes from slow-mo to trebuchet launch, right? Yeah. Like I was just like, yes. Oh shit, is Memo okay?
And Memo's such a nice guy in this. And they go to save him. I really dug that Bly and Bastian Schweinsteiger. Wait, no, that's a soccer player. I just called Till Schweiger Bastian Schweinsteiger, who's one of my favorite soccer players. He played for Bayern Munich, Manchester United, then he went to Chicago Fire and he won a World Cup with Germany. That's a mistake. But I liked how I don't think Sly needed to be in that rescue scene. I like that they went in there and got him. But Memo's plan. Okay, so we learned in the beginning that Memo wasn't playing nice with Bly, correct?
I think it's just he wasn't a team player. I think he's a race car driver and he didn't like being told to not be a good race car driver as opposed to a team member.
So in the end, Memo is trying to win this race, but he's so far behind on points he'll never win the championship. He got kicked out from his job for being a terrible teammate. So the first chance he gets, he wants to win a race over a team that just fired him for not being a good teammate. Do you think he was fueled by Gershon and her faux cowboy hat?
Maybe, but even the way that she substantiated it, she said, yeah, you're going to win this and show him and earn your spot back on the team. So even though he got hired back, this is just a tenuous situation. I think that she had a kind of greedy approach, maybe, or just interested in her husband's best interest, whatever. But she was very self-interested, and then she made him self-interested and thinking like, yeah, I'm back on the team. Oh, but if I win it, then they'll really see my value.
Yeah, you're right.
And so it's not that he was being a bad guy. He was still being a bad team member by having his priorities set all wrong. He was thinking of the one and not the all.
It's interesting, though, seeing him be such a nice guy to Joe and to Jimmy liked him. But he's a terrible teammate.
I think that this is not greed on his part. It's greed on his wife's part. I think on his part, it's a function of weakness. I think that he succumbs to the fear of not being good enough. And I think that his wife just pushed him in that direction because he is such a sincere guy. And by the way, both times I'm watching this week, all I can think is this guy is Cuban Van Damme. He almost sounded just like Van Damme, but with a slightly different accent, didn't he?
So this guy, he's absolutely Van Damme. And what I liked about him was he is actually a firefighter. He is a pilot who flies around doing the crazy flying stuff. He's a straight up adrenaline junkie, this guy. He's cool. I liked Memo.
He's Cuban Van Damme, though.
Yeah.
Even the way he talks, it makes me think of like Bloodsport and Kickboxer almost with come on, it's going to be okay. Trust me. But now make that Cuban and race cars.
So Jean-Claude Van Damme, he's Christian De La Fuente. So he's CDLF.
There we go. CDLF, JCDV. JCBD.
But no, I mean, they found a likable guy. I don't know.
Even looks a little tiny bit like Van Damme, doesn't he? The chiseled face and those eyes.
And did you know that Estella Warren was a Canadian synchronized swimmer for many years, and she was and so they're like, so they wrote that scene in the pool. He's like, you just got to have her doing it. That's what the director Renny Harlin said. So I thought that was a pretty interesting. Like she's a legit athlete. And
why not? It makes the character seem intriguing, too. Yeah.
But I liked her. So get this, though, with her character. She seems really cool. Her life is basically racing, knows her stuff, and her fiancé just breaks up with her. Like, what do you do next? Like, that's your world. You've been part of that world for a long time. So I liked how her character she just didn't know what to do, but she knew she loved racing. So that's why I saw her hanging around, not of like a hangdog thing. I just think she loved racing. I liked the way they handled that character with her. I liked that character. I don't know, made sense to me. So I kind of liked. Well, I don't know. Did you like her character at all or no?
I'm gonna say I did not dislike her character, but she was my least favorite character out of the ensemble.
Got it. I mean, acting wise or just character
wise? The scenes that character had and the drama or fun that character added to the scenes felt very milquetoast compared to everybody else.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like she was almost like a filmmaking tool before being an actress in this film.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. And
for me, and a lot of characters are that, right? This had a big cast. Like we follow, not equally, but we follow a lot of characters in this, and that's challenging. So I guess this is inevitable. So I'm saying zero fault of Estella Warren's.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't dislike her character, but the least. How about instead of saying my least favorite, least impressive character?
There it is.
Like I don't want it to sound like a slight against her.
I like that there's a 5-minute scene in this movie where Stallone goes to tell Til Schweiger and it's like, come on, man, take her back. Don't be an idiot.
That was a cute scene.
Yeah, but when does this, like, so in the beginning you think Til Schweiger's the villain, but then he and Til Schweiger are, so when you're 18 and you're watching this, and I gotta tell you, movies do force feed you into the villain, right?
Yeah.
The hero, the bad guy who gets his comeuppance, the black hat, the white hat, that kind of stuff. So there's a scene where Stallone had just screwed over Til Schweiger. Then Stallone comes back to him and they have a nice conversation after screwing over Til Schweiger.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why I liked this movie when I was 18, because it just is different from what I had seen in the past. Like, it wasn't, I don't know, I liked when, I remember leaving the theater and remembering that scene where Stallone's like, man, go get her back, I'd crawl. It was a neat
Joe,
scene.
come on, you never crawl. Crawl.
Yeah. Well, you gotta do the accent, the Stallone accent.
Never crawl. On the ground.
What was this epic Stallone accent you did?
I don't remember.
Oh, man. What, it was Stallone doing something.
No clue.
And you nailed it.
You conned me into doing some ridiculous things on this show.
You had a glowing halo above your head when that Stallone.
I think was it Sly Stallone speaking French in his Philly accent or something?
Yes, it was.
This is like a long time ago.
That was one of the greatest Levin Good moments of. I think. Listen, I'm not saying you peaked, but in the first episode of Movies, Films, and Flicks, where I said about 7,000 times, you have a bit in that episode about if you were in Snowpiercer and you were fighting these guards.
That was episode 1?
Yeah, and if
With Kurt Russell sleeveless shirts?
Yes, and because we did a squad at the end of it, and you said if I'm about to battle henchmen, and a henchman takes his axe and inserts it fully into a fish,
I'm drop kicking him. That's when I run up and I'm going to run up and drop kick him. He is taking his time. He's presenting the fish. He is inserting so that I see what he's doing. I am running up and drop kicking that guy right in the chest.
That's just such a great visual. And I love that director went on to win an Oscar for Parasite.
Right.
We've been, ever since The Host came out, we've been raving about Bong Joon-ho.
Hey, remind me, did he do Thirst as well?
He did not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, but that's he did Host, Mother, Tokyo, then Snowpiercer, and then Okja, and then he followed it up with this.
I didn't see Okja.
It's good. I mean, it's on Netflix. It's all right. I mean, if you're gonna skip, I don't know. If you're gonna skip one, skip that one. Park Chan-wook directed Thirst, so I like him a lot. He also did I Saw the Devil, and I believe he did Old Boy as well. No, he did Handmaid's Tale and Old Boy.
While we're on a really, really, really strange tangent.
He didn't do I Saw the Devil. I apologize.
Let's talk about Asian creature features, because he did The Host, which is an outstanding monster movie.
Yeah.
And get this, I just discovered a movie called what was it? It's called
Renny Harlin directed?
No. It stars Sung Kang.
What?
And it's called like Sector 8 or Sector 7.
What?
And it is also a crazy monster movie, and I think it's on Netflix, and I got to see both of them like next week.
Wait. Sung Kang. And what's the name of it?
I think it's called like Sector 7 or Sector 8. I recently put it in my Amazon queue. Hold on. I'm going to find this for you in like a second here.
You know, I've been a fan of Justin Lin and Sung Kang ever since Better Luck Tomorrow. I love that movie. Better Luck. I bought that movie on so I went to when my brother graduated from Air Force, boot camp. I went to Texas to go see it. And I remember I bought Better Luck Tomorrow out there.
Wait, I'm screwing up my movies. Sector 7 is another cool creature movie. Code 8 is the Sung Kang movie.
He's in a movie? He's in a monster movie?
No. I messed it up. This one is more like robot chappy stuff.
How did I miss this?
But there's also a Korean movie called Sector 7 or Sector 8, and a lot of people were chiming up as a great action movie. I think that one was on Netflix. I'm not sure if it's still on Netflix, but all of a sudden I just got flooded with Asian movies in my head here.
Whoa, so there's Robbie Amell, Stephen Amell. The Amells are in it from Arrow and all those shows, and Sung Kang.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I'm so happy.
And the other movie I was thinking of is Sector 7, and that's another Korean movie that's apparently a really cool aquatic monster movie, like a deadly sea creature thing.
All right, you gotta send me these because I'm gonna forget them.
So
John, Sung Kang, man.
So just going random here. I was crossing my streams with the Sector 7 sea creature Korean movie and the Code 8. You can see how those get mixed up. Sector 7, Code 8.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're both, and that has Sung Kang in one of the leads in this kind of like future robot action movie.
I need to watch that. And there's a movie called Storage Unit 24, I think.
I remember seeing some people kind of gaggling about that on Facebook, but this is one of those like things where the people who were saying that it was awesome didn't give me any reasons that it was awesome, and the people who said they hated it didn't give me reasons to say they hated it. And I'm just like, this is just some random thing.
All right, so here it is. Storage 24 is a perfectly fine creature feature that was done on a very tiny budget.
Did you see it?
Yes. I like Noel Clarke because I went through a Doctor Who phase, and I think it's a intriguing idea. You're locked in a indoor storage place with a monster. So that's intriguing, but it's not.
Sounds fun. It's a fun premise.
I don't want to say anything bad about it, but I don't think I could give a super glowing review. So if I wrote a review for it, I would praise the low budget aesthetic, the monster, the idea, and the acting. But I could never say it had me this scent level, picking up people on my shoulders, running around the theater, screaming because the movie's so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that. Remember we ripped a guy in half while watching The Descent?
That poor
together?
guy. That poor man. And it was just like Steven Dorff and Blade.
When you and I went in front of the judge because, we ripped somebody in half while watching The Descent, do you remember the look on everyone's faces? When he's like, you guys are innocent, man, I get it.
Well, we didn't even clean the blood off of ourselves before we came to court, so
Everyone
that was really
clapping in the theater, too. We got a standing ovation. No, yeah, we did not rip somebody in half while watching The Descent. But that movie, yeah, so is that better than what people said about Storage 24?
Yes.
Right.
Well, the thing, again, the loves and the hates, like any movie, right? Midsummer comes out. Oh, it's the greatest thing ever. Oh, it's the worst thing ever. But people are giving reasons why they do or don't like it.
Yeah.
And I can understand the reasons on both sides and decide for myself, oh, it's too slow, it's boring. I like slow burns. Okay, I'm going to ignore that hate. You know what I mean?
It's about loss and grief, man. You don't understand.
But these people, for some reason, maybe it's because it was a little more indie thing. I don't know, but it was just, oh God, this is great. You should see it. No, it sucks. Don't see it. No, really, it was awesome. No, it was blue. Like it was just, it's not just that it was hyperbole. It's that there was no evidence. No one learned how to write an essay when they were in middle school where you have a thesis statement and 3 supports and then a conclusion. Like no one learned that. They're just like, sucks.
Loved it. This does not help me, guys.
No, sucked.
All right, I have something fun, John.
Okay.
I'm going to give you some prep, though. We're going to do a draft that we're going to put on Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook. And I just thought about this. We're going to do Sylvester Stallone movies after 1990. And, all right, so Stallone movies released after 1990.
Okay.
All right, so last time I told you to pick a number between 1 and 2, you said 1.5. So pick either 1 or 2.
2.
All right, you go first.
All right. Demolition Man.
I knew it. As soon as I said 90, I'm like, maybe I should have said 94. All right, so I guess I have to do Cliffhanger then.
Okay. Rocky Balboa.
Oh.
Let's go build some hurtin' bombs.
So I love in Rocky Balboa, there's a scene where he has a chair up in the tree by Adrian's grave. So when he visits her, he just grabs the chair out of the tree and sits down on it. That gets me choked up just thinking about.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, so you got Rocky Balboa. All right. I am going to... Oh, dude, that's such a good pick. All right, I'll do Creed.
Okay. Is it weird that I actually like Creed 2 more than I liked Creed?
Well, no, because Lundgren's in it.
I just thought it all worked better, the storytelling and everything. But I'm not going to do Creed 2. I don't want redundancy. I'm going to do...
Oh, do what your heart tells you, man.
I want Judge Dredd.
Oh, no.
I knew you'd say that. You know that lip snarl he got? His snarl was not that big since he did Rocky 1, and he needed him. Cut it! Cut the eye! Cut it! Like, it was that intense.
The lips moving everywhere?
I knew you'd say that.
All right, I'm gonna pick I love all three of the Expendables. I love the finale of the Expendables 3, but I'm going Expendables 2 because of JCVD and Scotty Atz. Scotty Atz gets...
I was going to pick that exact one.
When Jason Statham and Scotty Atz squared up in Expendables 2, I was going to lose my mind. And the fight didn't live up to the hype, but at least we got to see Jason Statham fight Scotty Atz in a movie.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to say Expendables 2. So all right, what's your fourth pick?
Not the new Rambo, but the Resurgence Rambo.
So from 2008.
Yeah.
Rambo.
When he had that gun and he was like straight up shooting people's entire limbs off.
And heads explode like a water balloon.
But like, you know how people say like the term spilling blood? It really looked like decanters of blood being slapped off of a kitchen counter by a tiger. Like the way the blood was flying with that. I loved that, and just how I like old Sly. Like Rocky Balboa and the first of the two new Rambos, where he's just like old, tough, actually as strong as physically ever. Because first Rocky, he was tiny.
Oh yeah.
Like 30 pounds of muscle less. Tiny. Like, yeah, so I'm going Rambo.
All right, I'm going to do Copland.
That's a good one.
Because that's a good movie. That was his, like, kind of comeback, and it didn't do too well, but everyone went, yeah, we liked it. All right, you got one more. Hey, John, you got one more. Oh, there's a couple. I have a pick in here that I think will win you it.
I'm going to go Assassins.
Oh.
I came here to be number one. I can't do him at all. That's a terrible Antonio Banderas. He's like, wouldn't you just settle for a tie? Number one! And every time he's holding his finger up and shaking it while he's saying number one, but they're on the other side of walls, so like they don't see each other, so that like dramatic flair is just for us in the audience.
Yeah, I don't see you, Antonio.
All right, what's your fifth pick?
You know what? I'm gonna say Daylight, because it's a fun movie. It's a good movie.
I think that movie gets called stupid because of the premise, but the execution just recaptures Cliffhanger.
Yeah, Jay Cluett, who you listened to today with the Piranha episode, he wants to do Daylight really badly, so we're going to actually cover that sometime on the podcast. So he'd be mad at me if I didn't put Daylight on this list.
It's interesting. So you have double rescue Cliffhanger Daylight, and I have double old man strong Rocky Balboa and Rambo.
This is tough. I mean,
We're going to challenge people. I wouldn't vote. If this happened to me, I probably wouldn't be able to vote.
Okay, so
these are tough.
Demolition Man is the most popular, right? Would you say? Yeah.
I think it is his best acting role out of everything that we listed.
I think Rocky Balboa is. I love him in Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
That's the most human. I know a lot of people like him in Creed, but his Rocky Balboa role is, there's so many little touches. Remember he employs the guy that he used to box? It's just such a heartfelt role. People love Dredd. Rambo, dude. That's a legit action film. Assassins.
That's brutal.
Yeah. I mean, but people like Copland. I think you're going to win, John. I think you're going to win 63% to 37%.
But here's the thing. If I win, it won't feel like winning because I love all of these movies.
And if you want to follow Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook, you'll read John's reactions to a lot of these polls. So the other day I put a poll up. It was between this guy Neil Mitchell and myself, who we're covering all the 1990s comedy years. And John was just, I can't do it, man. I can't. I just can't pick. I'm like, hey, man, like whatever you want. Vote against me. If you like Neil's team more, totally fine. This is a Facebook poll. And you're like, I can't do it, man.
No, because you both had multiple films that I treasure.
Someone replied, "I agree," and I was like, "Wow."
Most of the time that I comment on these polls, I'm basically writing in different paraphrasing each time how I can't vote or why I am abstaining or how much I hate you for making me try to decide.
I always get worried when you just immediately vote against one or the other because I'm like, well, this poll wasn't that good.
But it's just for me, right? Yeah, sometimes me.
But what I'm saying is I like it when you're freaking out about these things. When it's easy for you, it bums me out. I never get bummed out because you vote against me. I just get bummed out that you make the choice so easy because I love it when you're like, I can't do it.
There have been a few times where I've had to like look at that post, at one of the poll posts, like 3 times a day, 3 days in a row, and then all of a sudden I'll vote. But I was like, it was like I was going to therapy for myself, reconciling shit in my head so that I could muster aside.
You were like that guy from Love Actually when he walks out of that place from Keira Knightley after she finds out that he filmed a lot of her, and he's walking up with his sweater, rubbing his hair, thinking he's gonna go back, and then he takes that long walk along the water, and he's just all distraught.
I think he was distraught because he realized, holy crap, if that worked, I would have been a pedophile because she's a minor.
Yeah, that was a weird scene, wasn't it, in Love Actually?
I mean, she wasn't a minor in the movie, obviously. Her character wasn't, but, like, she was.
In real life. Yeah, that's a weird movie.
So, okay. All right. Can we talk about the one scene that was maybe exciting to me when I was 20, but that now I watch it and I'm just like shaking my head no almost the whole time. I giggle a little bit, but when they're racing the streets of Chicago, that is, even from a filmmaking perspective, they didn't even make it look like those cars were going terribly fast except for a couple of moments.
Yeah.
But when the cop held up his radar gun and you saw the cars go by and it said 195, I'm just like, 42?
Yeah. There's no chance they were going 195.
They might have been going 42 miles an hour. And then when they go so fast by the bus stop that the glass shatters, I'm just thinking, this is downtown Chicago, right? Like, how did they even have enough room to accelerate to 40?
There's no way.
Right.
And then they blow up the lady's skirt and all, like, and then there's manhole covers flying everywhere. It doesn't hold up. Because I'm thinking, who's paying for that newsstand that they blew up? Who's paying for... that's what I was worried about nowadays. Like, why are they doing... Like, I don't know. And also,
Carl Henry.
So they shot that in Toronto over 5 nights in downtown Toronto. And they said a lot of the people in downtown Toronto were pissed because they had to shoot at night. So they kept up people all night with racing. So some people trying to sleep or drive around couldn't get around because they were shooting at
those
5 nights. And it doesn't even look like they're going 42 miles an hour, like you said, John. If that.
Yeah, again, that was like, because when you're younger, you're not used to catching that stuff and noticing like relative speed and things like that. So like when you're a kid, like, oh, look how badass that, oh, they're going through the streets. That's so dangerous. And now I'm watching it and I'm old. I'm just like, nope. 42 miles an hour. Nope, they would never. Where's the traffic? Of course, you say that any action movie, right? When they're having a high speed race in a metropolis, you're like, how are they weaving through it? You can't. If we could weave through this, I'd get to work on time.
I do love the shot though. Is a good shot though when the camera is on the car pointing towards their faces and you see the wind blowing on them. That's the one shot.
Super squinty. Yeah.
And I really worried about something hitting them in the eye.
Yeah. No. I kept thinking that too, and I thought that any water that gets kicked up by the other vehicles is going to have Metropolis street crud on it.
If they're going 200 miles an hour and a tiny pebble,
it's going to be like getting being flicked in the eyeball.
Yeah,
like a BB gun.
That's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
That's like when I have to chase you.
You're going to catch me every time.
Yeah, that's an epic scene. They built a lot of the trailer around that. It has a decent song during it. And then the lecture at the end that he gives him, then they become best friends and he starts using spoons for the racetrack.
Right.
I do like, though, all right, they show them on a private jet going to their next race. That's one thing I like about this movie. They show how ritzy it is for the drivers. I thought that was pretty cool. And I do like later on how they said that both of them were fined $25,000 for the race. That made me happy. Oh, in the deleted scenes, they had to go to a press conference afterwards. And Sly gets thrown under the bus for it, and Jimmy Bly gets no punishment. But they cut that.
I believe that. I would have liked that scene.
Because Bly's more important.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. But no, it's fun. No, you're right. It doesn't really... I watched it now, and I like the technical things. I also like in this movie how they put so many different... I like how they traveled the world. I liked all the camera shots that they got. I mean, they had a race car similar to Rush that had cameras loaded all over it. Cameras were all over the drivers. You could see the rigs. On a technical standpoint, this movie's excellent. Yeah,
I think it's a beautiful film too.
Oh, for sure.
Whatever, people can say color correction up and down all day long, but it is Michael Bay beautiful, but without the overly exaggerated warm filters from sunlight, you know?
Yep.
And so it's gorgeous. It makes it more engaging for me. It makes it maybe more of a positive experience too. Everything's crisp.
Did the quick editing bother you?
No, it didn't. It made it feel pretty dynamic, but I know what you mean. Even in some of the social scenes, it felt a little quick.
Yeah.
But it didn't bother me. It makes me think what you said earlier. You called it like MTV style editing.
Oh, for sure. And
music video style editing.
Can I tell you something very interesting?
Did Renny Harlin do a lot of music videos?
Well, yeah, he did. Which is good call on that. I like that. This guy, right? The cinematographer Mauro Fiore. You listen to the movies he's done, and you'll find what kind of he did Driven, then he did Training Day, then he did Tears, but then he got in with Michael Bay, and he did The Island. Then he went and did Smoking Aces. Both those are very like cut. Then he worked,
especially Smoking Aces. Good Lord.
He did Kingdom and A-Team, but he won an Oscar for Avatar. This guy who shot this movie won an Oscar, and then he worked on Equalizer, Southpaw, Magnificent Seven. He got in with Antoine Fuqua, so he's been working with him a lot. He shot Infinite, which is coming out. This is a Academy Award-winning guy who shot this movie. So I mean, he did it. He's pretty good. Like the way this guy shot this film, I dug it. I like how he did it, and then he won an Oscar. He should thank this movie.
Again, the way that. I don't know how much of it is Renny Harlin versus the people that he's choosing, but I really find that he has such an oddly diverse resume.
Oh, yeah.
So and it's not like, oh, what, he did a horror movie and an action movie and a drama. It's like, no, I don't mean it's the kind of horror movie, the kind of drama, the kind of, like this movie, not just a racing movie, this racing movie. Mm-hmm. His horror movie was Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, which is one of my, it's like, I think the most fun Freddy sequel. It's not the best sequel, right? But it is the most fun one. It is the absolutely most rewatchable one for me. And the Freddy sequels 3 and 4 specifically were known for their soundtracks more than like any other horror movies at the time, by chance. And then, we got our Deep Blue Sea. I saw a movie of his from 1987 called Prison, which looked like his training wheels for Nightmare on Elm Street, to be honest, which he did the next year, Part 8. But he's done such an interesting array of movies. And all of his movies, whatever the genre, they are more, I don't know how to put it, stylistically dynamic within that genre.
Yeah, absolutely. He finds ways to make them look interesting.
His movies are exciting. It upsets me, Marks, before I say it, so you know that I'm in. But when people say Deep Blue Sea, oh yeah, it was fun, but it's kind of a dumb movie. I'm like, what?
No,
no, you just said that was a fun movie. Success. Shut up.
Yeah,
like
it's people love Deep Blue Sea, and so many people like it's so terrible it's good. I'm like, no, it's not so terrible it's good. And you know what bums me out is I hate that Cutthroat Island and Long Kiss Goodnight bombed in 95 and 96.
I like both of them.
Now, Cutthroat Island, I've read articles about this, and he went a little insane with spending. I mean, he brought in live animals. He spent money he shouldn't have spent. But what other movies in the 90s featured like a female action hero lead, right? What movies during that time had that? You had Sandra Bullock, but she was a side character in Speed. Jamie Lee Curtis in True Lies, side character. I mean, aside from Cynthia Rothrock, who was doing, direct-to-DVD roles. But this was over $100 million, $50 million movies led by a badass Gina Davis. Mm-hmm. They were ahead of their time. If you watch Long Kiss Goodnight now, written by Shane Black, and you see her character would fit in perfectly now. The way that she's kind of goes from suburban housewife to just murderer, badass murderer. You see that DNA in a lot of movies. In Cutthroat Island, it was a failure, and they spent way too much money on it. But you see every cent on screen. And I love it when I can see every cent on screen of a movie.
I think it's a gorgeous movie.
Yeah. He knows, I don't know, it sucks that Gina Davis was awesome in both these movies and it tanked. And I feel like that maybe set back these kind of films for a long time. Like, I'm not saying they should be celebrated because she was the lead, but I just think they were very ahead of their time. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to say Cutthroat Island. They went insane. Renny Harlin went insane with spending. Just type in the money he spent on stuff, and you'll be like, "Holy crap, this guy's nuts." But I don't know, man. I like Renny Harlin. I don't even have to be a Renny Harlin apologist. I think he's had a very successful career. I like him. Still like him. I like 12 Rounds with John Cena.
He makes awesome movies.
Yeah. I like that we're not cynical about it. I enjoy me some Ren horror. I'll watch 12 Rounds.
Some Ren horror.
I watched Covenant. So Exorcist the beginning obviously wasn't very good. He got hired to come in and reshoot the movie that Paul Schrader shot. Mindhunters, it's all right. I own it.
Oh, I love Mindhunters.
Oh, really?
I love Mindhunters. And that super long fight when you find out who the killer was the whole time and LL Cool J is fighting him all the way across the damn building. Oh, so cool.
All right, so when we're done with all our racing and other ideas, we got a lot of stuff on the table. We should cover Mindhunters.
Done.
All right, sounds good. Any final thoughts about Driven?
I love this movie, and okay, I think that it's easy when you are watching a movie, especially if it's for the first time. So if you watch this movie just because you listened to us today and you hadn't seen it before, it's easy to watch a movie and immediately get the vibe that the soundtrack doesn't match the times and to just think, this I'm not really feeling it. You got to just let yourself get past that because this movie has great energy and if you let it, it will take you on a fun, smiling, emotional ride. And I think it holds today. The action isn't what modern action movies have, but it's still good.
Yeah.
It's dynamic. That's my word for Renny Harlin. It is dynamic. It is energized. And I like it a lot.
I dig the scale of it. I dig, and I like how nice it is, and I like the scale of it. You see the money on screen, and the ending when everyone's happy makes me happy. And that's what you want from a movie, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I dig it. No, this was fun, man. Thanks for joining me. We're doing Days of Thunder next, correct?
Done.
Oh, my gosh. That is a third in our racing trilogy.
Lap 3.
We have to do 200 laps, huh? So we have to pick a lot of racing movies, John.
Oh, shit. That's we're going to do all the race movies 8 times.
So we're 70, probably. All right, this was fun, man. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah.
All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for John, the Crash Test Dummies. Hey, the humming song.
All right.
Whoa. Levin Good, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.